work out, and they lost another 3 seconds. Class leaders Visser du Plessis and Dave Leskowitz had their eyes set on the progress of Ryan and Van Heerden, their closest challengers for the title. From a reputation of a bit of a wild child, du Plessis has emerged as a genuine contender this season.
I've always been lucky on tar, I enjoy tar, so we've built up quite a nice substantial lead. Now we've just done the first gravel track and I managed to take a few seconds off Fernando and lost one to Nicholas.
The Subaru crew indeed seem to have found some of their feet in this stage after struggling a little for pace on the tar stages. But the surprise package was Pfeiffer and Harding, who took the class win by 4 seconds.
Mike Nathan and Dean Riedlinghuis were still coming to grips with their new Class A7 Toyota Corolla. Nathan getting used to the long braking distances in the faster car. Barry Krobel and Grant Martin in their A7 Golf were up to speed again after their earlier starter motor troubles. But having lost so much time, they faced a huge task to get amongst the top runners in their class. Clearly, they were going for it. Tony Ball and Alan Bissett in another Golf were looking for another podium finish in Class A7, following their third place in the last round of the championship in June. Runaway Class A7 championship leaders Mark Cronier and Chris Birkin again looked untouchable in this stage, winning it by 10 seconds in class. Second in Class N3, Mohamed Musa and Henry Dearlove were struggling with the handling of their car. Championship leaders Costa Kamantarakis and Barry White had already dropped out, so the class was being led by Fasaki and Lagranchi in a similar Team Total Toyota Runnings. Running second in Class A6, Andy Haig-Smith and Eugene LaRue in their React Toyota Corolla RXI. Currently fourth, Sali de Toy and Gert Jansen van Rensburg. Unfortunately, this stage would spell the end of their rally due to mechanical troubles. A6 class leaders Craig Trott and Carolyn Swan in their Team Total Toyota Runnings.
A close third in A6, Stephen Wilkin and Gert Nienaber in the Panhard Volkswagen Polo. A close battle was also being fought in Class A5, with Steve Mearns and Kyron Noonan in their MPC-backed Toyota Taz, battling for supremacy with Andre Kleinberg and Des de Fautier in their BP Volkswagen City Golf. And championship leaders Gugu Zulu and Carl Peskin in another BP Volkswagen City Golf. In Class N2, Stephen White and Ashley Haig-Smith in their Mitsubishi Lancer were a distant second in a field with only 2 entrants. Runaway championship leaders Etienne de Toy and Patrick Vermaak in their McCarthy Toyota Corolla were having it all their own way again. So Kuhn took his 4th stage win out of 5, extending his overall lead over Serge Damso to 4 seconds. Pfeiffer took his 2nd stage win in N4 to move into 2nd place.
Stage 6 was the first in the Longmoor Forest where the bulk of the Volkswagen Rally would take place. Over 12.5 kilometres, this could potentially upset the apple cart. John and Douglas Williams were gradually losing touch with the front-running works cars, but they never give up in a fight. On this stage, however, they were about 40 seconds off the pace. JP Damso and Cobus Frey setting competitive times, but unable to make a significant dent in the gap to the front-runners. Still in with a chance of a good result, Johnny Gemmell and Peter Marsh. In this stage, however, they would drop 10 seconds to the leaders. On board with Jan Hubik and Douglas Judd. Every second gained or lost could make a difference.
Right side, into bump, left side, in, and right 3 over crest, 70, right 2, left 1, right 1, 100, crest, right 4, keep tight into, crest into, left 1, left 7 into turn left 8 over crest, yes, turn left 8 into right 9, left 3 long, to crest, left 1 right 1 into left 9, left 9 into caution slow open in the right of the brake, into left 3 tighten 100.
A crew that has won championships before, Hubik and Judd set the 3rd fastest time on the stage.
Left 4 caution tighten over crest.
Rally leaders Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson were on the limit as well. Like the other front runners, they had no choice but to go flat out, which was just great to watch. They were 2 seconds faster than Havig and Judd. Clearly reveling in the situation, Jürgen Fecken and Pierre Aries made their presence felt by going even faster, 1 second better than the reigning champions. Not to be outdone, however, the old master, Serge Damso and Robert Paisley equalled the time set by the Volkswagen youngsters and shared the stage win.
Lola and Megan Verlaag, who also compete in the African Rally Championship, continue their solid if unspectacular run. Later gaan van der Merwe in the diesel Golf. This car is being allowed to run in 3 national events this year in an effort to develop it to a level where it can be homologated for competition. Visser Du Plessis and Dave Lefkowitz dropped some time to their N4 opposition in this stage. Nicholas Ryan and Schalk van Heerden dropped 1 second in this stage to Du Plessis and Lefkowitz. Bet they didn't like that. Paul Pfeiffer and Cindy Harding maintained their impressive comeback drive right at the sharp end of the N4 field. Fernando Reuter and Gerard Snyman, however, won the stage, ensuring that the nail-biting fight in the production car category continued. While some spectators could seek respite, there were no such luxuries for Barry Grobler and Grant Martin. Well down the order, they were still giving it their all. Running fourth in A7, Tian Schubert and Greg Godrich in their Sunham truck and plant hire Volkswagen Polo. The remarkable Mark Ronier and Chris Birkin were running away with Class A7 and setting times on a par with some of the Class N4 front runners. After 6 stages, the incredible battle at the top of the standings continued, with Damso closing the gap to Kuhn to 3 seconds, while Du Plessis was leading Pfeiffer by 7 seconds in N4.
Stage 7, 4 ways, was just under 9 kilometres long and would be more of the same. What was great was that most of the top crews in the country were still running and slugging it out in a no-holds-barred fight. No one had a clear advantage, and the question was, who would blink first? Lying just inside the top 10 and mixing it with the N4 front-runners, Class S2000 privateers John and Douglas Williams. Still fighting hard to recover lost time, JP Damso and Cobus Frey. Still playing the role of sweeper, Etienne Lawrence and Andre Vermeulen were struggling for grip and losing time. Johnny Gemmell and Peter Marsh went 4 seconds quicker in this stage. Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson went faster still, raising the bar by 3 seconds. Damso Sr. and Robert Paisley, trying to extend their lead, set an identical time to the Volkswagen pair. Still faster went Jürgen Fecken and Pierre Aries, beating the former multiple champions by a second. On board again with Jan Havig and Douglas Judd as they go flat out for the stage win.
Left 1 into right 4, 50. Left 2, crest is right 3. Left crest is right 3, 100. Right 3. Turn left 8 wide. Turn left 8 wide, 120. Left and right, do not cut, 70. Medium open, and left, money
A great run which saw Havig and Judd share the stage win with Fecken and Aries.
medium open, and right, block.
In the N4 battle, Fernando Reuter and Gerard Snyman were gradually eking out a lead, but they could not relax at all. Nicholas Ryan and Schalk van Heerden had the bit between their teeth and took the class win on this stage. Here's a comparison on the same section of road between the performance of an S2000 car and that of a Class A7. The S2000 clearly benefiting from all-wheel drive and a more powerful engine. So, Havig took his first stage win of the Volkswagen Rally, while Kuhn still held a 3-second advantage over Damso in the overall standings. Ryan also took his first Class N4 stage win of the rally. Stage 8 was the longest stage so far, at just over 22 kilometres. One thing we could be sure of, nobody was going to give an inch, which could just lead to some mistakes. A position no rally driver wants is to run first on the road and play the sweeper role, so Etienne Lawrence was not too happy at this point.
Difficult in front because the roads are very, very loose. So we're sweeping and we're losing time every stage and there's nothing we can do about it. So we're about 10 seconds off the mix, you know, to be in the mix again. And we're lying fifth, but it's only a few seconds. but it's every stage we lose a few seconds because of the loose gravel.
Holding on to a tenuous lead of only 3 seconds, Enzo Kuhn and Guy Hodgson, who took their first national title last year, knew the pressure was on. The slightest mistake could see their lead disappear. Similarly, Serge Damso and Robert Paisley needed to keep up the pressure and close that gap without making any mistakes. 13 seconds behind in third, Jürgen Fecken and Piri Aris.
We had a pretty good day. We lost a bit of time on the tar, but we're making up a few seconds on gravel, so I'm quite happy.
Yeah, it's a bit slippery there near the front. But we'll see this one, and tomorrow we're doing some repeats, so it should be maybe a bit better tomorrow.
Gemmell and Marsh were 6th overall, but only 31 seconds behind Kuhn and Hodgson. Still leading in 4, but only just for the Duplessis and Dave Lefkowitz.
Still in the lead, but by 4 seconds, so I've got a different strategy. I'm not going to totally try and defend it. I'll just go a little bit harder. I know what I'm doing wrong. 3 seconds from each other, so I'm going to try and get out of the day in the lead, but I'm not going to stick my neck out. You know, my main objective now is to stay ahead of Nicholas, and there's about 24-5 seconds between us at the moment, so let's stay on the road.
Gemmell took his first stage win, while Serge Damso took a second off Kuhn, bringing the gap down to 2 seconds with one more stage to go for the day.